Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well this fine Saturday. How many do we have? Free watching. Hey, Assalamu alaikum, Paraboy as always. Usually the first. Alaikum assalam, Hector. Alaikum assalam, Hassan. Muhammad Hassan. And who else do we have? Sound is fine, brilliant. Okay, no need to ask, eh? All right, let's get on with this. This is going to be short. It's not a very intricate thing that I want to show, but I think it's pretty interesting. Make this a wider screen. Okay, so testing Eman. As I put in the description, the verse I want to look at is this verse in Surat AlMumtahina, verse 10. So it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who have faith, إذا جاءكم المؤمنات, when the believing women, the mu'minat women, come to you, muhajirat, as immigrants, like from the muhajirun, okay, famtahinuhun, then examine them or test them. God knows best as to their faith. Sorry, the typo there should be God knows best as to their faith. Allahu a'lamu bi imanihin. Fin alimtumuhunna, then if you come to know that they are mu'minat, فلا ترجعوهن إلى الكفار, then do not return them to the kuffar. Now this is after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So what happened, is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to, he tried to do Umrah to Mecca, and the Meccans prevented him. So they prevented him, and they said, "No, we're not going to let you do Umrah this year. But let's make it." Basically the Prophet said, they said, we're not going to let you do it this time. There was actually some fighting, which is not mentioned in the Seerah books, but is mentioned in the Qur'an that there was actual fighting that took place, and the believers won them over right in Mecca itself, not on the outskirts of Mecca. This is part of the. It's strange the Quraysh propaganda, even after Islam, wanted to make it seem as if they prevented the Prophet from reaching Mecca, and so in the Seerah literature, it is made out as if the Prophet did not reach Mecca, even though in the Quran it says the Prophet reached Mecca itself, bimaqti Mecca, in the valley of Mecca itself. The Muslims were there, and they won on top. They were victorious against the Quraysh. Point is, in the end, they settled down to make a treaty. In this treaty, the Prophet had to go back that year, and they were not allowed to do Umrah this year. They would have to come back the year after that. And the treaty was going to be 10 years of peace. And it was lopsided in a way which led to a bit of mutiny from some of the Sahaba, particularly Umar. He was very vexed about it. It was lopsided in a way that if some of the Muslims of Medina left and went to Mecca, the Meccans did not have to take them back, did not have to send them back to Medina, whereas the Meccans insisted that anybody who left Mecca, left Quraysh and went to Muhammad's side, that he had to return them back. And of course, a lot of the Muslims were unhappy with that. But the Prophet accepted it. And, for those who say, that the Prophet was bloodthirsty, warmonger, all of this, the victory mentioned in the Quran, the thing which is called the Fath, where God actually says, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. We have given you a manifest victory, is this peace treaty of Hudaybiyah. The victory in the Quran is the peace treaty. That is the victory. It's not the Battle of Badr or the conquest of Mecca. The victory in the Quran is this treaty of Hudaybiyah. But the point is that once the treaty was done, some of the Muslim women who were in Mecca and persecuted, and some who are not, they would want to come and go to Medina as well. Now, the women had not been mentioned explicitly within the within the treaty. So it was kind of a loophole. Basically, the Quran came down saying that the women, you don't have to take them, you don't have to return them back to the Meccans, to the disbelievers. You don't have to turn them back if you come to know that they are truly doing hijrah for God's sake. All right. Now, what I want to discuss about this is that this verse is one of the most sort of iman heavy verses in the Quran. Iman is mentioned so many times in this. Okay, so it says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, idha ja'akum al-mu'minat." Okay, muhajirina famtahinuna. Allahu a'lamu bi-imanihin. God knows best the iman. Then, if you come to know that they are mu'minat, so 4 times, then do not return them to the kuffar. And it's strange, right? So why does the Quran here, first of all, it describes them as mu'minat, right? إِذَا جَاءَكُمُ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. But then it says you have to test them as to their iman, okay? And then God says, but He knows best their iman, okay? And then it says, if you come to know that they are mu'minat. So it's like 4 different uses of iman here. It's referring to 4 different things. And the reason for that is because I think the Quran, first of all, it never speaks of Muslims or the Muslim community the way we do. Okay, when we look at the seerah and the history, we talk about how the Muslims did this, they did that, and the other. Okay, the Quran never mentions the Muslims. Never mentions the Muslim community, as in the actual community around the Prophet, with the Prophet as the leader. It doesn't call them Muslims. Okay, and this is sort of similar to Fred Donner, who has that, Muhammad and the Believers, his book and thesis, Muhammad and the Believers, where he talks about what happened in Medina as a believers movement. Okay, it wasn't about Muslims, and the word Muslims, appear in documents and stuff was much later. Okay, even though, of course, the Quran does mention Muslims, هو الذي سماكم المسلمين, right? He's the one who called you Muslims in this and before, referring to Ibrahim alayhi salam. But the point is that it never mentions Muslims. So in lieu of this reference to the actual community of people, regardless of their iman or their Islam, the Quran still says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Okay, the address for the Muslims in the Quran is Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Okay, it's not different. So often, when the Quran says, "Oh, you who believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu," or when it says al-mu'minin, then it is addressing sometimes the community with everyone in it. Those who have full iman, full real iman, like the ones who are described by verses like "Innamal mu'minuna alladhina." Truly, the mu'minun are only those who, and then there are 2 verses which start like that, and it gives a description of mu'minun, which is at the highest peak. Very few who are like that. الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا, and then they had no doubts, for example. Okay, so it mentions, so when it says Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, it's talking to them. It's also talking to those who have some iman, okay, but not a lot, so they are weak in iman. It also talks about those who have iman but no Islam, like the Arab, the Bedouins. When they used to come, they say قالوا آمنا, and the Prophet has taught them, say, قل لم تؤمنوا, you do not have iman. ولكن قولوا أسلمنا, but say we have Islam, we have submitted. And it's even, of course, addressing those who outwardly profess iman but are munafiqun. So all of those are included in addresses like Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, or sometimes when it says alladhina amanu. Okay, all of this is included. Okay, even some of those verses, I think, the verse which talk, in the alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, those who have faith and do good deeds. Okay, those who have faith here, alladhina amanu, you could think about it as it's just talking about this community, right? Just like it talks about inna alladhina amanu wal yahuda wal nasara, right? It's talking about those who have amanu, and the Jews and the Christians, and okay, it's talking about a community. It's not really about there really being. It's not about iman. It's like it's the description of the community, right? Which is why the key thing is alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, and who do good deeds, right? That's the key, as in I've mentioned often, as in other verses in the Quran, that people will receive paradise or hell based on deeds. But the point is that Alladhina Amanu encompasses, it's like the label for the group sometimes. Okay, in this in this in these verses. So in this case, that's what's happening here. Okay. So in this verse, when you go back to it and look at it again with these kind of eyes, what does it say? It says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu," meaning the community of the Muslims. Okay, when إذا جاءكم المؤمنات, when these mu'minat come, okay, those who they seem they seem outwardly mu'minat, they are coming for hijrah. Okay, فامتحنوهن, right? You have to test them, examine them, see if they are really doing this hijrah for reasons of iman. Okay, but then it tells us that Allahu a'lamu bi imanin, but God knows best if they really have the real faith, what's in the heart, actual faith. فَإِنْ عَلِمْتُمُوهُنَا, then if you come to know that outwardly they are mu'minat, then do not return them to the kuffar. Now this is interesting because it also means that you might not know. Maybe they couldn't have inwardly real iman, but outwardly you judge them as not having iman, and then you do return them to the kuffar. Okay, and this is one of the things which isn't really mentioned in the seerahs, that it wasn't just if any Muslim woman comes, okay, that the Prophet accepted them directly. They were examined, and that were there any that were returned? I mean, I don't know anything in the seerah literature about that, but that was an option. Okay, that was an option because in that way the Prophet maintained, even though, like I said, it was kind of a loophole. The women were not mentioned in the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, okay, but still, the Prophet is not going to, like a lawyer, uh, look for the loopholes to get his own way, right? In this case, okay, if they are really mu'minat, we're not going to return them. But if they are not, if it seems like they are not doing hijrah for the right reasons, yes, he would return them. Why not? Okay. So this verse, in our terms, it will be saying, "O Muslims, if immigrating Muslims claiming to have faith come to you, then try your best to confirm that outwardly. But the reality of their faith is known only to God. Then, if you come to know, as best you can, that they have Iman or Islam, then do not return them to the kuffar." Okay. And like I said, this last means that they must have been immigrating for religious purposes, for Iman, not due to running away from some worldly conflict or towards some worldly benefits. Because that's basically the fear. Were these muhajirat truly mu'mineen? Truly, because some of them could have been just running away from their husbands or from their families or something like this. They have some worldly trouble and they want to use the Muslims and the Prophet Muhammad and the community as an excuse to run away and be protected. They could have stolen some of their some goods from Mecca and run away to Medina, and the Prophet would be sort of like harboring fugitives, if you know what I mean. Or they could have been just coming for some dunya reason, and this is one of the reasons, the verses which tells us the truth of a hadith, one of the hadiths, the hadith of the niyyah, of the intentions, where the Prophet said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, truly actions are only by intentions. So فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, so whoever's hijrah is for God and His Messenger, then his hijrah is indeed for God and His Messenger. And whoever's hijrah is for some dunya to gain some dunya, لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا لِدُنْيَا يُصِيبُهَا أَوْ امْرَأَةٌ يَنْكَحُهَا, or to a woman whom he wants to marry, then his hijrah was for that reason. Hijrah was for that reason, which tells us that among the muhajirun, the early muhajirun, not just the women here, but even before that, there were some who are not doing hijrah for God and His Messenger, which is not what we think. We generally think that all of the muhajirun, the early immigrants from Mecca to Medina, who were persecuted in Mecca and they went to Medina, that all of them were true mu'mineen. That's not true. Among them were hypocrites as well. Among them were hypocrites. And among them were those who did hijrah for worldly reasons. For some, trade, tijara, these kinds. Some of them were merchants, don't forget. Okay, some of the early Muslims were merchants. Or they did the hijrah to get married or something. And in this case, it could have been a similar sort of situation where these women are coming, running away from Mecca, either running to marry someone whom their families did not want them to marry, or some trouble, some dunya they're trying to get to in Medina, or some trouble dunya they're running away from in Mecca, and the as part of the treaty, in being fulfilling the treaty, God is telling the Prophet to actually examine these, okay, examine them, not just to take it, okay. So yeah, I said here written. The interesting thing here is that the testing was required because of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So before that, of course, when the Muslims were just immigrating normally, okay, from Mecca to Medina, nobody needed to be tested as to their iman. Okay, you don't need to check outwardly or inwardly if they were Muslims, if they were doing hijrah for God and His Messenger. So that's why among the early immigrants there were those who were indeed doing hijrah for other reasons, not for God and His Messenger. But because of this treaty, God revealed that no, with these women, inquire. The men, it's already part of the treaty that they would be returned. But the women, sort of the loophole, no, test them. See as best you can if they have done hijrah for God and His Messenger. If they have, then don't return them. If they haven't, then they're going to be returned. Okay. So if these, so that if it seemed that these women were not immigrating for the sake of iman outwardly, even if they truly were inwardly. So again, we are looking outwardly as to their iman. Now, inwardly, they could really truly be doing hijrah for God and His Messenger. They could truly be mu'minat, but if they are not, then they could still be returned to Mecca. And still, of course, if they are, God knows best their iman, even if we could not. Okay, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. It's an interesting verse about how iman is used in those verses. Okay. Let's check the chat and see how everybody's doing. We have 9 viewers. Alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum, Adriana. Again, excellent to see you. All right, okay. We don't have anybody backstage, and this time it seems the chat is pretty quiet. Not the usual debates in the chat, huh? All right, good. Okay. Anybody would like to come on, please feel free. If not, if it stays quiet like this for another, 10 minutes, then I'll probably end it early today. Which I suppose will be making up for last time, right? We had a very long stream. One thing I wanted to add about last time. Oh, we have Aslam. Okay, I'll bring you on. Oh, and we have Alex. Okay, good. We have 2 already backstage. I'll bring you on. But since I'd already started, I thought, one of the things I wanted to mention last time, which I didn't mention about the issue of the birds and Ibrahim alayhi salam, is it's very interesting, isn't it? That it's almost as if it's something which ended up being in the lineage of Ibrahim, because later on, at least in one side of the lineage, right? Because later, okay, Ibrahim is one who sort of like makes this affinity of these birds and then calls them and they come to him, right? Later on, what happens? There's a verse in the Quran talks about Dawood and how the birds used to make tasbih with him. Okay, they used to glorify God with Dawood together. And then Dawood's son Suleiman ends up speaking to the birds. Okay, and this is, I suppose, where I differ with Mufti Abu Layth, where he seems to say that the birds. He says the birds that Suleiman speaks to are basically his spies and stuff. No, I think Suleiman, he had birds, wind. God mentioned in the Quran the birds, the wind, the jinn, the ants. Okay, so why not? It seems like a big array. We can't. It wouldn't be right, I think, to say each of these things is a metaphor. So then Suleiman ends up being able to literally communicate with the birds. It's almost as if this quality or this affinity with the birds, this knowledge, it could have been passed down from Ibrahim. It comes down to Dawood, where and it gets amplified, so to speak. So with Dawood, they are praising with him. Okay, they make tasbih with him, and then when it comes to Suleiman, he's actually it's the affinity has grown even more, and he's able to actually speak with the birds. I think it's pretty interesting. All right, okay. Somebody's asking a question. Let me check this. Adriana, do I commit shirk if I call the police on a traditionalist who regularly beats his wife and children? No, I don't think that's committing shirk. Um, he shouldn't be really beating his wife and children. So no, of course it's not. Um, I mean, it's not a thing for me to advise you to do or not to do, but no, it's not shirk to do that. Of course not. Especially if he's in a country where it's illegal to do that. Of course, he should not be doing that. Okay, Aslam, I'm going to add you to the stream.
Yeah,
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.
alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm good. Hope you're doing well.
Doing good. Your voice is a bit low, by the way.
Yeah. Is it clear now?
Yeah, that's better.
Uh, I just wanted to like put a perspective about like my understanding about the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
As humans, we see that people who are like searching for happiness, but even people like Charlie Chaplin, who used to make happy the entire world. If there are reports that he also suffered for some kind of like a depression, and
Mm.
in India we read a lot of about a Christian scholar called Kierkegaard. I believe you must have heard about him.
Say his name again. Again, yeah, sorry, your voice went a bit quiet again. I don't know why.
I was saying about a Christian scholar called Kierkegaard.
Okay, Kierkegaard, Christian
Yeah,
scholar. Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
mean you mean the Dutch philosopher,
Yes,
Kierkegaard?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Yes. I thought
even
you
he's
actually meant
like
like actual priest or somebody or a preacher. No, he was
correct.
like the
So
philosopher. Yeah, the philosopher. Yes. Go ahead.
correct. So these people, it like they were unable to find happiness, true happiness. So
Mm.
my understanding about is that ideal happiness is actually the life after death, and
Mm.
here it will, because people who are like taking movements about like eternal happiness in this world. So
Mm.
for some reason, it is not possible practically. We can see this thing. So my understanding is that, and we do hard work. We have to earn money, so the
Mm.
life of what will happen, God will give it as it is, like whatever we want, like livelihood and everything will be as it is, and we will not have anxiety of the future, neither the issue of the past.
Mm.
The thing about afterlife would be about that one verse which mentions that uh, it mentions that there are if the entire ink was if entire ocean were ink and the trees
Mm.
were,
Well, pens. Yeah.
then yeah, even the words of God will not be like completed, or it will not
Completed.
end.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
I think afterlife is to search those things. After death, we will able to discover those signs.
Mm.
So that is
Yes.
my perspective, is that after that we will be able to find out those signs of God which are like
Mm.
hidden, and there is the true happiness. And in order to search that, whatever apparent things we need about livelihood, God will give as it is, and we will
Mm.
be discovering the signs
Mm.
in the afterlife. So this is my perspective about the whole creation plan, like what is
Mm.
after that. So
What's
like
after? Okay. Yes. MashaAllah. Yes. I mean, you've got that verse in the Quran, right? When the dar al-akhirah hiya al-hayawan, right? And the life of the afterlife, that is the true life. I think
yeah.
we did one stream. I did one stream. I think about it, right? About life and the after life and death or something, and how, you know, I forget the name of the stream. It was one of the first ones where I talked about this, about how, you know, those in the afterlife are more alive than
Mhm.
here, right? Our life,
Yeah.
our the quality of, not the quality of life, but even the quality of aliveness is more intense in the next life than in this life. Whereas the quality of those in hell, they are not quite alive. They are between life and death, you know. So they are less alive than we are here. I
Hmm.
mentioned this in one stream, I think. But yes, definitely. And in terms of this world, trying to find happiness, yeah, in this world, yes, you can't find that. Can't be right, because this world is not meant for that. It's meant to be a place of trial, right? لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد. Right? We've created man here to be in toil, right? So, and and God is going to be testing no matter what. Do people think they will be left alone because they say we have faith and they will not be tried? No, you know. And those before were shaken, with وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول الذين آمنوا متى نصر الله, until the messenger and those of faith with them said, where's the help of God, right? So it's not supposed to be like that. But yes, here we get in the mal history yusran, with difficulty comes ease, right? So there's this contraction and expansion, as the Sufis would say, in this world.
So that is the reason why I find these people, these Islamic people who want to make a like a caliphate or this thing
Oh
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
I find it very futile. It's like jeopardizing the plan of God because God wants to test people. And if you want to make
Mm.
a like a Sharia law in this, how are you going to take a test? Because you are subjugating people. You're jeopardizing the divine plan of God, which is to test. But if you're trying to make a like a Sharia government in the entire world and this thing, so I think it is against. That is the reason why it is not happening because it is not the plan of God. God's plan.
Well, I think it hasn't happened because it's a failure on our part. No, it is because it is part of God's plan. Why did God send the messengers and reveal books? And the Quran says so that people would establish justice. So the
Correct.
fact that we failed in establishing justice is on us. And if the whole world had established justice, and in the end we might do that, I have that kind of optimism, that in al-ardi yarithuha ibadiy as-salihun, right? That the earth will be inherited by the righteous, okay, and they will establish justice. That's not going to take away from God's planning of testing us, okay? God's testing us is not just about these sort of things. It's not just about
In
you
that case,
know.
we take away the free will of human being, but we cannot
Sorry.
take away. I'm talking as you said,
Yeah,
but
your voice is very very low again. Can you? I don't know what you did to make yourself very low. Your voice very
is
low.
it
No, no.
hello?
Your
Is it
voice is.
clear?
Yeah, that's better now. Yes.
So I'm saying that you're right. You have said rightly about this thing, but what I am saying is that in order to do that, you have to take away the free will of human beings. But we cannot
How,
take away the free will of human beings.
no, but how are you taking away the will of human beings, free
Because
will, by
we
establishing justice?
yeah justice, but I'm talking about not justice, about the people who want to like establish like a Islamic this thing and they want everyone to follow their own way of this thing. I'm talking
Yeah,
about that.
well, if we're talking about that, that's different. I mean, if you're talking about the fanatics establishing
Yeah.
what they think is an Islamic state, that's different. Okay, but if you're
Hmm.
talking about what God wants in terms of, we talk about Islam as what the Quran is saying, okay, then yes, to
Correct.
establish justice is having an Islamic governance, meaning a just governance. That is something that we should aim to, and it's not going to take away people's freedom of choice, because part of that would be la ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion, right? That would be part of a real Islamic caliphate. There would be no compulsion in religion. So it's the issue is not that. I mean, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina, he did establish what you could call Islamic um, caliphate. I mean, I don't even think it was in that kind of way. I think he was just a teacher and a guide. In the end, he was like the ruler of Medina. Okay, and disputes
Hmm.
would go back to him. Okay, and he
Hmm.
established justice there, right? But even though there was justice where he was, it did not take away anybody's free will. There were still people doing a lot of negative there, despite the Prophet being there to establish justice. Okay, it's not about it's not, it doesn't take away. Yeah, you're talking basically about those who force people to do this or that or the other. That's
Correct.
different. Just give me a second.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead.
so what I understand is that you are putting across is that in order to establish justice, not a like kind of a Sharia thing, correct? Um,
Yeah, no, it's not a Sharia. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be Islamic Sharia, for example. The Quran says,
mhm,
لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُم مِّنْهَجًا شِرْعَةً وَمِنْهَاجًا. Okay, to each of you we have given a Sharia and a minhaj. Okay, to each of you we have when discussing the Jews and Christians and those previous peoples, he says, everybody we've given a way and laws. Okay, so it doesn't even have to be the Islamic law. Okay, It just has to establish justice, right? It could be the Christians or the Jews establishing justice. You know,
mm,
in the end, that's what it is. That's what the books and the messengers were sent for. That is the reason why they were sent. ليقوم الناس بالقسط, so that people would stand up with justice or for justice.
okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be. It doesn't even have to be thing. I mean, right now, look at any government in the world, Muslim or
Mm,
non-Muslim. The most Islamic is the one which has the most justice. The most Islamic is the one which has the most justice, even if it's the most secular.
correct, correct.
So that's just what I would say about that. But I know I understand what you're saying in terms of the true happiness and these kind of things will be in the next life. But in terms of people trying to force that in this world, this is a different thing. We're talking now about people who themselves don't understand justice, themselves don't understand. Like I said, you ask them if you were to ask them that simple thing, why did God send the messengers and reveal the books, right? Something which is given explicit in the Quran. They all think it's for Tawheed. It's to make everybody say La ilaha illallah.
Like this is
That's
what
what
I'm
that's what
saying.
that's, that's what they think. It's so that everybody will say La ilaha illallah. That's why God sent every messenger and every book is to teach people La ilaha illallah. And that's just not true. That's just not true.
Yeah, because
That's
if
not the goal.
we are enforcing people, human beings, and God has given them free will, it's like jeopardizing the plan of God. Plan of God is to save human beings who will be selected for the eternal life.
Yeah, but
That's
of
why
course, look, nobody will be able to take away anybody's free will. Doesn't matter. Even if you force people to, you persecute people, you do this or that. In the end, you're never able to actually take away somebody's free will. You're never able to do that. You're able to force them to do something, oppress them, and these kind of things. But in terms of their free will, it's always there. And the fact that those people are oppressing or forcing or that's part of their exercising their free will and they're failing in what they're using it for, right?
Mhm. Correct. But
Mm.
then if you see beheadings and all that, then but that is like people like do beheadings and these all things. Then
Yeah, yeah, that's zulm again. It's and it shouldn't happen. Basically, that's it. It shouldn't happen.
all
And
right,
yeah,
all
what were you talking about here? Somebody beheading a murderer who beheaded somebody else. That's justice,
no,
right?
no, someone beheading in the name of God, another
Yeah.
human being.
Well,
I'm talking.
there is no beheading or this in the name of God at all. There is no behead. There is a life for a life. Okay, there is a life for a life. If somebody murders somebody, he can be killed in the name of that person who he murdered, basically, in the name of justice,
All right, all right.
right? In the name of justice.
Mm, sure, sure, sure.
Mm.
So I got the in regard to that. Secondly, I just make it quick. I just wanted to confirm about Prophet Lut offering his daughters to those people. What is that? I mean, some people say that he was offering him for them for marriage. What was that in
Mm.
Quran? It mentions he's saying, "I'm offering my daughters to you." What was that exactly?
I forgot what I said about that. To be honest, I always forget the. I looked into it and I forgot. I keep on forgetting what I had a. I had looked into that. And I forgot what I said about it. He says, هؤلاء بناتي هن أطهر لكم, right? These are my daughters. They are purer for you. I'm not sure right now, to be honest. I'm gonna have to revisit my notes on that.
Apparently it's like, I mean, it's not say like that. It looks like someone is offering for some sexual thing. Apparently it
Yeah,
looks like.
yeah, I know that that's what it looks like. I forget exactly what I said about that, and my mind has gone a bit foggy on it right now.
All right, no worries. Anyways, but the clarity in regards
Mm,
to the life and the perspective about justice. I was not aware about this thing that actually it is
mm.
not Sharia, it's actually the justice that needs to be established.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Established justice. Um, Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on the issue of Lord's slaughter. Maybe I'll remember it and talk about it in the next stream, um, if so. Okay.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right. Afwan. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. I'm gonna remove you. I'm gonna put on Alex. Let me just check the we chat. We have Devon Thomas. Assalamu alaikum, Devon. And I don't think anything else in the chat. Okay, Alex. Assalamu alaikum, Alex. Oh, hello. I'm not sure. Assalamu alaikum. Hello? Can you hear us? Oh, we cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yes. Well, firstly, I would like to say that I'm actually glad that I've actually stumbled upon your channel. And I actually came across you actually through watching some of Hassan Maliki's videos. And I'm actually glad that you posted his, and it has been quite a life-changing experience for me listening to him. And it really truly has changed my perspective as a Muslim. And I've been a Muslim for 20 years, and I have yes, and
it's been a journey, right?
It's been truly a journey, and I think there's more to come. You're not, you're never now. You can tell yourself that you are actually never certain of things.
Yeah.
Because I have been truly been very much influenced by hadith, and now I have totally not disregard or reject, but I try not to let it influence me. And fervently, reading the Quran and try to actually understand the Quran. I don't speak Arabic, nor I can understand Arabic. I can read the Quran though. And there are a lot of things. Of course, there are many things I would like to ask, but one particular thing. There's actually one particular thing. I know there's actually a verse in the Quran that says, "The world is a game for you." That's an English translation.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes there are problems with, translating Arabic, especially an abstract meaning from a language to another language, especially an old language like Arab. The abstract understanding is different from a modern language, because modern language tends to restrict or has very little definition, because we've changed them grammatically, we changed them their etymology of words. So in this particular verse, what does Allah means by in Arabic that this world is actually a game? And also, is there such a verse? I actually came across that, and I'm not sure if I've said it correctly.
Yeah, there is. But it's it goes, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ. That this life of the dunya, of the worldly life, okay, is nothing but sort of lahu, is like amusement. It's like a pastime. Okay, it's a pastime
Is that
and playing.
Is that a negative?
Well,
do we look at it negatively, or can we see it positively?
No, it can be seen positively, especially the lahu part. Definitely, most people when they look at it, they think of it negatively, but it's not that kind of negative. It says illa lahun wa la'ib, and then it says, but the next life, wa inna dar al akhirah, and the home of the next world, lahi al hayawan, that is the true life. That is like the thing which is, and the word used al hayawan, it's almost like ar-Rahman. Right, it's supposed to be, it's an emphatic of rahmah, of mercy, Rahman, right? And it says al-hayawan. It's like an emphatic of its real life, like the quality of aliveness of the next world is much more than this. Here, it's just like it's like a play and amusement. It's like a pastime. So it's the verse gives this impression sort of about like this is like child's play. What you think this world? Do you think this world is life? No, it's just child's play, right? The next life, that's real life. That's real life. So it's that kind of thing, where it talks about amusement and games. Amusement and games are usually things for children, right? Like for young kids. It's like it's as if you would say to I don't know, 7, 8-year-old kids playing in school. You think this is life? Just wait till you grow up. Become an adult. What you're doing here is just games, just amusement and games. It's not this is not what life really is. Being a human being in this world. You'll know that when you're older. And that's what it sort of looks like. It's not really a negative in that kind of way. It's just letting us know that it's putting it in its place. If you know what I mean, just putting it in its place. It's not, That's what I think. But you're right. It does say play, and just to reassure you about people make too much of the issue of with the Quran in Arabic. I mean, one of the one of the things about the Quran is actually that it's in a very simple Arabic. One of the negative things that people have done by making the talk of the eloquence of the Quran, this huge miracle, and the miracle of the Quran, this eloquence. It's not, first of all, the miracle or the sign of the Quran isn't really about the eloquence, right? It's not about the eloquence. If God had wanted to make something, if He was aiming for eloquence, it would have been much bigger, greater than this. So much greater than this. Okay, wasn't aiming for eloquence. God made the Quran easy. The actual vocabulary in the Quran is very, very low. It's very surprisingly low. Very, very low vocabulary in the Quran. A poet, one poem in a pre-Islamic poem, one poem has more vocabulary than the whole Quran mostly. Okay, it's very low. Yeah.
Do you think it's well? Since you say this that the vocabulary is good, do you think it's because that Allah allows us to Allah did not make any let's just say limited definitions of things and allow us to conjure and allow us to mature, have a mature thinking, and understand them, in different stages in life.
Yeah, no, that's part of it. But just the simple reason is just because He wants to make it easy. Okay, this is supposed to be a dhikrun lil alameen, right? For the world, for all of humanity. So it's not going to make it into like something where it's so difficult to understand. And God knowing, of course, that this is going to reach the world, it's going to be translated. It's not going to make it into a way which is so difficult to translate or so impossible. It isn't that, It's وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ. Right? We have made the Quran easy to be a reminder. To be able to take dhikr, a reminder from the Quran is easy. It's not difficult at all. وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. So is there anybody to take some dhikr from it? Is there anybody who can, take it? إن هذه إلا تذكرة. This is only a reminder. فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا. So let whoever wants take a path towards his Lord. Okay, take any of the paths in the Quran. There's many which are mentioned. Okay, many lists in the Quran will say, those who do this, they will be saved. They will be blessed. Okay, or praising these qualities and negating these other qualities. There's a lot. There's a lot of dhikr that can be taken from that. One of the videos I put in, which I had actually hoped to become more popular, was the one about those whom God loves and those whom God doesn't love. Right. So it's a short video I've got on my channel where I went through all the verses of the groups whom God says He loves and those whom God says He doesn't love. Okay, I said, okay, look, this is a very easy path to take to God, right? You stay away from all the qualities which, you make sure you're not in any of the categories of those whom God says He doesn't love, right? And you just imbibe in yourself one quality from among those whom God says He does love, Allah yuhibbu as-sabirin, for example, God loves the patient. If you see in yourself that you're actually somebody who naturally is a patient person, you can work on that to become a really solidly person of real patience, right? So investigate that quality, look at what mystics have said about it, what philosophers said about patience. Make yourself a real person of patience, right? And then you'll be somebody whom God loves, right? So, and throughout the Quran, you can find it's very easy to take a dhikr from the Quran, all right? And in terms of translation and stuff, yes, you need the Arabic for intricacies. Oops, he's managed to leave. If he's still listening, I'll continue anyway. If you come back on, I'll bring you back onto the stream, okay, Alex? What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I've lost all my train of thought. Right. Yeah, I think he's coming back. Yes. Add to the stream. There we go. Okay.
Yes, I'm back. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. I forgot what I was saying. Do you remember what I was saying?
No, I missed part because I accidentally pressed something and then was shut off.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yes, but maybe.
So, I was saying about the Arabic. That was it. So I'm just saying that.
Right. Yes.
In terms of intricacies. So if you want to actually start getting into real intricacies, of like real details, nitty gritty things in the Quran. Okay. Yes, you need Arabic. There's no way around that. You do need Arabic. Okay, but it's not an insurmountable amount. You don't have to learn the whole language. You just have to know Quranic Arabic pretty much. Okay, and there's not that much Quranic Arabic to learn. Okay, you don't have to become fluent in Arabic so you can be able to read Imam al-Ghazali or Qadi Iyad, or you don't have to be able to read the books of Hadith. You don't to read the Quran. It doesn't take as much Arabic, not at all.
I personally think that we are all scholars of our own in our own life. We are all our own Imam Ghazali.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't we?
So in terms of like you can read, just have a few translations, okay, and you'll be able to get, you'll be able to get, you'll be able to take a zikr and remembrance and reminders from the Quran, very, very easily.
There's another issue. When Allah says when Allah says He reminds us that the Quran is actually a reminder, is it because that we are, as human beings, we already inbuilt with Quranic verses in ourselves, because especially when we read them, and then each time when we read, and it goes like, oh yeah, I see this what it means. I can understand this, and I can agree to this. Is it because that the Quranic verses has been inbuilt in us as the fitra?
Yeah,
that's why we can understand that, that we can relate.
Yeah, I think so. I think certainly in terms of the meaning, right? It's sort of when it says dhikr of what, right? That's basically what you're asking. When the Quran is saying, this is a reminder of what? Okay, a reminder.
Something that we know.
Yeah, like a full spectrum of things. Yeah, a reminder of what it is to be human. That's what I would say at its essence. It's reminding us about how to be human, because you can lose that in this world. In this world where with all of this, the drama, the fighting, the this and that, they're trying to get ahead, they're trying to being tricked yourself, being deceived yourself, being cheated. This can all jade you and stuff, So it's more than anything, it's a reminder of who we are, a reminder of humanity, of being human, how to be human. But it's also a reminder of the previous things, right? So the Quran, one of the things that, there's issues, going on nowadays, well, not nowadays, but of the issue of, preservation of the Quran, right? Well, the Quran never says really that the Quran is preserved. It says, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزِّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ, right? We have sent down the reminder and the remembrance, and we will protect that, we will preserve that, right? So, it's one of the things that you can get into, right, into this part of the intricacies, trying to understand what the term dhikr means in the Quran, what the term Qur'an means, what the term kitab means, what the term furqan means. These are all sort of words which are used to refer to the Quran, we would say the Quran, right? So the dhikr is also, I would say that the dhikr portion of the Quran is, firstly, it's going to be something which is a reminder, which is something which people already know, like you said, something which is part of our nature, or part of what God has already revealed, which is also going to be part of our nature, because what He revealed to previous peoples isn't going to be something which is outside of our natures. So the reminder portion of the Quran, it's what jives, it's what's the same, it's what's the common denominator between all of the scriptures that God has sent. That's all going to be a reminder, because he's reminding, right? It's reminding it. He sent it before, and he's sending it again, and he's reminding us about it again, right? The one where it's also there's an interesting one in Surah Ibrahim, but it said to Musa, right, that take your people out of the darkness into the light, وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ, remind them about the days of God. ذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. One of the way this is being seen is that remind them of the days of God, in terms of remind them about the time when the spirits were with God. Do what, it's not going to be a conscious reminder, but remind them about God's presence, which they've already felt. They've already, since their souls is one, and they were before God, they already have this remembrance inside of them of the presence of God. So remind them of that. Remind them of that. ذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. Some of the mystics and Sufis would say that this is saying, remind them of the times when the spirits were with God, and you had that whole thing, Alastu bi rabbikum, am I not your Lord? When God took out the souls of Bani Adam, am I not your Lord? Remind them of that. But generally, I would say yes. When it talks about reminder of what? Reminder of what it is to be a human being. Reminder of goodness. Reminder of justice, of honesty, of the virtues. Right. Reminder of what you are. You are that creature which God created, which the angels were commanded to prostrate to. Right. And to remember that in your dealings and how you are, and that reminder that we are Khalifa on the earth, right? We are custodians of this earth.
Yeah.
Right. So in many ways, it's a reminder of of different, a reminder of the ways to God, of the paths to God, a reminder of God Himself, and who is He, right?
Yeah.
So there's in multiple ways, it's a reminder.
I also truly agree with you as well. In one of your past videos, that you were talking about, the life in this world, and it made me contemplate, especially when you made some very thought-provoking, let's say, assumptions. Not a bad assumptions, but about our next life. About what the progress and the development and character development that we develop in this life for the next life's endeavor. It immediately ties me to the Buddhism understanding of reincarnation. Yeah, I mean, it really has that relation, and I kept thinking about it, that this in this life, your behavior and your thoughts and how you correct yourself, how you improve yourself here is it's a sorry, I'm stunted for words. It's a preparation for the next life endeavor. Because the universe is truly too huge to be confined into just thinking that we are here and waiting for Akhirat to come and waiting for Qiyamah to arrive. And
yes, certainly.
Isn't
Like
it?
you said, there's more to it than that. I mean, that seems, like I said, it seems very obvious to me, and it's not like it's something that you would tell somebody. I mean, you don't have to know about it. I mean, I remember to give a sort of an anecdote of this person relative. Okay, so one of the brother is not working. And brother doesn't really have a job or is working or anything like that, and they have a uncle in Europe, okay, and he made a lot of money and stuff. So he came back. This uncle came back one time, And without telling him, he didn't really tell him like this was any kind of test or anything, but he brought back a lot of money. He knew that this nephew of his was basically not working, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. He brought back a lot of money, gave him this money, said, okay, this is a gift for you. Okay, didn't tell him, I'm sort of like seeing or testing to see what you're going to do with it, right? I want to see what kind of a person you are, all right? But here, take that. And what he did is he spent it. He bought like himself a leather jacket. He did a lot of good things with it, with the money. He gave gifts to his friends, the family. He bought people. He was a generous person. But at the end of it is, before the guy went back to him, he said, "Look, I bought him all of this money, and he could have used that to do something. He could have like started a business, opened. It was a lot of money. He could have actually done something. In the end, he just went and bought things with it, which is a waste. Now, had he actually done something with it, if I'd seen like some sort of like thinking to the future, some sort of like something real there other than just, then I would have I could have taken him with me back to Europe and had him head my business over there, one of the branches of my business. So it's this kind of a thing that we're here, right? We're here being tested to see how we will do. لننظر كيف تعملون. God has put us here to see how we will behave. Okay? It's not logical that those who have shown the correct behavior, that the only thing that will happen is that they're going to just be given rewards. No, these qualities are being, God is testing us for these qualities for a reason. For a reason, it seems to me.
Yeah.
And there's strangely that there is a lot of
Totally.
I mean, there's I don't know if I should talk about this or not, but there's all of these other ideas about how the Quran talks about. Sometimes when it's talking about the Jannah and the Akhirah, it's talking about the Jannah in this world, right? So as if there's two Jannahs, من دونهما جنتان, and other than there are two gardens, right? And there's going to be a garden in this world, of like however long. So there's going to be like a sort of like a minor resurrection, and there will be a garden in this world, and then there will be another one at when all of sort of the cosmos is destroyed. You know what I mean? So there are some views about that. The Quran speaks of sort of like two. There's the Sa'a and then there's the Akhirah, right? And there's the hour.
Sorry, there is the Quranic verses that said that the cosmology will come to an end.
Yeah, exactly. So there's two sort of stages of the next world. There's the next world where the whole cosmology comes to an end, and everything is wrapped up, right? The whole of the universe, and then there will be something before that as well. There will be a type of qiyamah and resurrection before that as well. So there are views like this. I mean, I haven't looked deeply into them, but you have some who have from certain hints in certain verses that it's going to be like that. That there's the Jannatul Ma'wa, okay, which is the Jannah in the Surat AlMumtahina, and the lottery of the furs, and there's that Jannah, and then there's another Jannah which will be in sort of in this world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even in Christianity, I think, right? In Christianity, they believe that it's that Jesus will come back and judge people here, right? And that this world, this earth will become a paradise, right? They have something like that, right? If I recall.
And the fact that Qiyamah it's also going to be in a long period of time.
No, like I said, I haven't looked deeply into this, but it's just something that you might find interesting. I don't know if you want to look up through it or not, but it's an interesting thing. I haven't delved into it, to be honest, too much, but I've read little things about that. Right? There's, it's present in there's this book by Salim Nabil. It's in Arabic though. It's Tur al-Mahdawi, right? So it's about how it's sort of like about looking into the future in terms of the Akhirah, and talking about how it's in two parts. And the Akhirah, there's going to be two Jannahs, the Jannah here in this world, and then there'll be another Jannah. And he uses a lot of Surat Ar-Rahman for that. Okay, so in Surat Ar-Rahman, of course, it talks about it says Jannatan, two Jannahs. Now, it's a dual surah, right? وَمِن دُونِهِمَا جَنَّتَانِ, and other than these two, there will be two other genders. Okay, and then describes them. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's new information to me. Yes. Okay. Well,
To me too.
wonderful. Thank you for taking me in, and
No problem.
I'll leave it to here, and hope to speak to you again the next time.
No problem. No problem. Jazakallah
Yeah.
khair. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
on,
brother.
and you're always welcome.
Assalamualaikum.
Take care. Alaikum assalam. Okay, let's have a look at the chat. I don't know if there's anything in the chat. There was saw some discussions going on in the chat. If there's anybody who wants me to highlight something, you can put it here. Yes, it's a beautiful thing when you can communicate with somebody from across the seas. Okay. All right, okay. If there's nobody else coming on, we're coming up to an hour, so we might end it there. If there's nothing else, let me just check the chat again. Maybe a question. Why is the term Jahannam is used in the Qur'an? Because Jahannam is a word already there. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Jahannam, yeah, it was. Yes, like it's first of all, even the Arab linguists will tell you that Jahannam is not an Arabic word. It's not originally an Arabic word. You can tell the Arabic words in the Quran because they never have the tanween. You know that they never have a dhamma, for example. Okay, so there are many terms in the Quran which are recognized to be non-Arabic words, and that's why they don't follow the rules of i'rab, right? They don't follow the rules of i'rab. So the Quran will say fi jahannama khalidun, fi jahannama, right? In normal Arabic, if you have a fi, right, the next word which comes after it will be majrur. It will have a kasra, will have a e, right? في الأرضي, right? A kasra at the end. But Jahannama, right? في جهنم خالدون, right? In Jahannama forever. It has a fatha, right? The same thing Mecca. Mecca is not originally an Arabic word either, all right? You have these. So it's a word which has come into the Arabic lexicon. There are many like that. Abariq, okay, that's supposed to be a Persian word originally, right? It's in the Quran. Because it's just normal that language, don't think that, that any language in the world develops in isolation, in complete isolation. Right? That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. No, we have Eman. Assalamu alaikum, Eman. Hello?
Salam, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you again?
Okay. Alhamdulillah, bro. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. You have something for us this time to share. Let me bring you up on the thing.
Yo, bro, I've always got something to share, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
that's even bigger.
yeah, before I start, can I ask you what your talk is going to be for next week?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I've got like a list of things which I've already thought of and pondered of, like a long list. Or if I just see something in the Quran during this week which I like, I'll share that. So I usually just pick something out of what I've already sort of written down. I'm not sure. I might look into the brother was mentioning about Lot, right? The daughters of Lot. I have to look into my notes and see what I wrote about that, because I've become fuzzy on that, foggy about that. So maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'll beforehand, when I set up these streams, if you see the notification and you click on where the video is, if you just check the description, you'll see what I've chosen to speak about. But that's usually a day before or the same day in the morning. Like today, I wasn't able to set up the stream until like around 12 o'clock my time. Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm not sure. Do you have, unless you have a suggestion, you have something we want to?
Yeah, bro, I would like you to do something on Salah. But before you do that, yeah, I want to share some material with you. Yeah, because I mean, last week we did discuss Salah a little bit, but I don't think I did a good job yet presenting myself.
No problem. No problem.
So the thing is, yeah, I think a few days ago I come across some information about Salah, and my understanding is, yeah, I think the root word for Salah, yeah, got hijacked. No, in fact, sorry, there's a root word for wasila, which is waw, sad, lam, and I think that's
Wasila, yeah? Wow,
wasil. Yeah, I think the root word for wasil got hijacked because the root word for wasil is waw, sad, lam, and if you look at the root word for salah, it's sad, lam, waw.
Okay. Yeah.
Now the thing is, I mean, from my understanding, is that the root words, contain only consonants. Now, is that true or is that false?
No, the
Arabic
root
words.
can have the because they are consonants as well. The things which are used as long vowels, the waw, the ya, the alif, they are also consonants in Arabic. They are also consonants, but they are when you have them in it's called waw, wasl, ya, wasl, alif al mad. These are indications that you're supposed to extend the short vowels when they're normally used. But these
Okay.
things do have, like for example, you have the numbering system, the Abjadi numbering system. I don't know if you know, where each letter is given a number. Yeah, the waw and the ya do have their numbers.
Yeah.
Ya is 40. I forget what waw is. Alif is 1, of course. So they are letters in themselves, and they do have they can be part of the root structure, but they're called weak. They're sort of like weak. If one of these letters is one of the root words, okay, it's weak in terms of sometimes it's not written. It's not going to be written.
Okay. Right. I've got a question. What about two-letter Arabic roots? Do they exist?
Two-letter Arabic roots. I'm not sure.
Yeah. You're not sure? Okay.
I'm not
For
sure
example,
about
the
that.
word rab. Yeah. How many root letters do you think the word rab has?
Rab.
Yeah.
It has. I think it has the. It's a difficult one to say because the ba is a shadda, right? It's like it's a double. It's a doubling. So it'll be written as one ba, okay. But in other things, in other forms, you'll see that it has two bas, two ba, like rububiyya from Rab as well. Okay, it has the two bas come out there, or as in, for example, kunu rabbaniyin. No, sorry, that Rabbani, that's only the one bears in that one. But Rububiyya, okay, that one has both bears come out there.
Okay. Anyway, before you stop this stream, yeah, is there any chance you can share your telephone number with me? Because I want to go over Salah with you.
Well, I'll tell you what, send me a direct message, all right? Send me a direct message on either of my email. My email is there, or on Reddit, right? And I'll share it with you there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But in terms of I'm doing, if I do a salah, something about salah next stream, it will have to be sort of like, if you want to give the perspective that you want to be given, then really I'd prefer it if you did it yourself, because it's not, won't sort of work with me doing it if that's not my perspective. If you know what I mean? I won't be able to give it justice, first of all, and the point of the stream is to have other people come on and share their perspectives, their contemplation. I know I share something at the beginning of every week, but I would like more and more people to just come on and share whatever they have. So if you can, we can discuss it. like I said, I'll get you my my number, and we'll try to discuss it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Nice. Is that it, or is there something else you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I've got something else to show you, which is
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, what it is. Yeah, I've wrote a program, yeah, for the iPad devices, and what it does, it allows me to do voice control of the Quran.
Okay. How
For
does that work? What do you mean
for
voice
example,
control?
the voice control. For example, if I say to my iPad, I want to listen to chapter 6, verse 19 until 21, it will do
Okay.
it.
That's nice. That's brilliant. An iPad app, yeah.
Yeah, iPad, iPhones, and
For that.
Android devices as well. Yeah, I did this on the Android device about 4 years ago.
Okay, brilliant. Nice. Nice. Do you have like a link for anybody who wants to download it? Is it on the Play Store and on
No,
the
it's not on the App Store. If they want a link, they have to get the link from me personally.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you want to? I don't know if you are you giving it out or?
yeah, I'm going to give it free once I feel happy that the program is running
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay. Brilliant.
Anyway, do you
Excellent.
have an Apple device or Android
I have
device?
I have Android. I have Android. Hmm.
Okay.
I have my old LG G6, which has seen better days.
All right. Isn't it time for an upgrade?
This is like my second smartphone, but yeah, it is time for an upgrade. But probably until this actually breaks, I'm probably just going to keep it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, definitely when that's up and running and you're happy with it, please come on and let us know. Let me
Yeah.
know personally.
Also, yeah. I've wrote. Well, actually, I'm a computer programmer. Yeah, so I've written other programs. For example, when it comes to like these live streams, yeah, I can talk to my iPad or computer and tell it to display the surah ayah number in a virtual camera in the stream.
Now that would definitely be useful for this.
Precisely, yeah. For guys like you, yeah,
Yeah,
who make videos and do streaming, yeah, I think it'll be very, very useful.
yeah, definitely would be useful.
Yeah. In fact, I was going to give you a demonstration right now, yeah, but I just can't get my my virtual camera program working
All
because
right.
it's cracked.
Next week, come on and if you can get it working, then I'd love to see it.
Well, the thing is, yeah, if you showed me your contact details, I can give you a demonstration of this.
Yeah, sure.
On one of the social networking platforms. Yeah,
Sure.
and if you're
Okay.
interested, I can set you up with it.
Yeah, definitely. Send me an email, send me a direct message on Reddit or Twitter. I'll get you my contact number, and it'll be good to see that.
Yeah, I'm going to send you an
That would be
email because I'm not on Twitter and Reddit.
okay. Cool. That's fine. Brilliant.
I'm not into it.
Yeah. You've got my email, yeah?
No, I haven't.
It's in that bounce page, but I'll put it in the chat. And it's pretty basic. It's called In Search of the Qur'anic Islam.
Yeah, can you just write it in
Yeah, I'll write it in the chat now.
the chat? So when's the best time to have like a 3-4 hour conversation with you? Which day is best?
It's probably going to have to be, sadly, it's going to have to be another Saturday or Friday because of work here.
Are you working tomorrow?
Yeah, I work. I'm pretty much non-stop these days. So I work morning, and then I come back home for like a couple of hours, and then I head off again for some evening work.
You don't mind me asking, what kind of work do you do?
And education. So I'm coordinating some schools.
Okay. Right, I'm going to send you an email now, yeah?
Okay, brilliant, good. All right, okay. So we'll end the stream there then, if you're happy with that. Just check the chat. Anything else is there? I feel excited. All right, okay. That's some other conversation going on. All right, okay then, man. Shall we end it there? You're okay with that?
But before I go, I want to ask you a personal question. Do you perform the ritual salah? Yes or no?
Yeah. I think we mentioned that last time. I do perform ritual salah.
How many times a day?
I do the five prayers, but you know, I'm very fluid in terms of joining them when I need to. Like for example, when I'm very busy, like I join the Dhuhr and Asr, because I believe that it's free time periods, even though it's free salahs. They're meant to just be prayed in free time periods. So that's how I've done it.
All right, and before I go, let me just give you a little demonstration, of this program.
Okay, you got it working?
Let's see if I've got the right. Oh my God! All right. Right.
This way.
Read Qur'an. Oops, it says Suri's not available.
Do you have to choose a surah?
No, actually, she is working now. Or he. Read Qur'an.
What text?
Chapter 2, verse 159.
To 159.
Indeed, those who conceal what we sent down of clear proofs and guidance after we made it clear for the people in the scripture, those are cursed by Allah and cursed by those who curse.
That is brilliant. That is really good. And you said it can put them onto the live stream as well.
Yeah,
so
bro.
In terms of just project them, on the camera.
That's right.
That's brilliant. MashaAllah, brilliant.
But you need virtual cam software to do this. Like Manycam. I'm using Manycam to do this. Like Qur'anic ayah presentation.
That's good. Who is the reader of the?
The reader is a text-to-speech engine.
Oh, really? It sounds really natural. I guess that's getting better.
Yeah, it is getting better.
It's not like those robot voices anymore.
That's right.
Yeah. And which translation do you have in it?
I can use any translation. Because it's text-to-speech. So I grab the information from the internet. I scrape. This is called scraping a website or a web page. And I just extracted the necessary data from the web page, and I get the text-to-speech engine to read it.
Okay, that's nice. MashaAllah, very talented, man. It's programming. That's something we missed the boat on. I think for most part in the UK, right? We never used to be taught that. At least during my age group, computer science and programming, that sort of stuff, it just wasn't done in schools back in the UK.
Come on. I mean, when I was in school, they were doing programming.
Yeah, I think I must be older than you.
I don't think so. I think we're going to be around about the same age.
I was born in 83. Yourself?
Well, I'm older than you then. Come on, you were born in 83. Yeah, computers come out in in the shopping malls, around about 85. 83.
Yeah, but we weren't in our school anyway. We weren't studying. Computer science was not part of the school curriculum, right? It wasn't part of
well, obviously, in the schools you're not going to have computer science. You get that in the universities.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, like in terms of starting at a young age with these sort of things, it's much better, right? The programming skills for this guy, because you have to learn a whole language. I've even tried learning Python myself, but I couldn't get. I didn't have the time to get into it, and I found it not as intuitive for myself, to be honest.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, brilliant, man, brilliant. Thank you so much, man. That was a brilliant demonstration. Next time if we can, well, we'll speak. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I've sent you email, yeah. So the faster you
Yeah.
reply.
Yeah, I'll reply to you as soon as I get off the stream. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
Okay. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for coming on. So, all right. Okay. I think we'll end the stream there. It's a brilliant program, by the way. I mean, that could be a really powerful thing. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thanks again for coming on, and see you again next week. Salam.